Big rubber guys and a big rubber girl. It's happened. Not just big rubber guys having a female, but Missy Hyatt finally has her Missy doll, as she loves to say. 40-plus year career. We never had her in our collections. Now we do. Here she is as part of the latest Big Rubber Guys wave. And we're going to look at her last, actually, because, well, save the best for last, right? Missy, we're going to put her down in a set that included Missy Hyatt, the Brainbusters, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, or two of the Four Horsemen, whichever you prefer, and the model Rick Martel. And as we know, as we've gone over, Big Rubber Guys, collector-friendly packaging 100%, in that you can put them back in, never know you open them. So we're going to do that. We're going to have three of them open, and then one we're going to open, or rather open right on camera, because I did want to show something with that. And like I said, we've got the Brainbusters, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. Indefinitely a pair that, had LJN gone on, they would have been produced, no doubt about it. They were part of the WWF from late 88 to very late 89, of course. Tully right before the Survivor Series, they knew he wasn't going to be there. And Arn right after the Survivor Series, I mean, literally that was his last WWF match. So there they are in red. I mean, they wore red as the Brainbusters Horsemen, so it's kind of a, it's not unique to either look or theme or genre. Of course, they both do come with belts. Let's look at that. And I did put them on once for a photo. That's the thumbnail for this video. And I'll post it elsewhere so that you can get a good glimpse of it. Because I honestly don't know if my thumbnails even appear. I mean, I see them like on my playlist, but if I search my videos, I don't see them. I see my ugly face. So I don't know what's going on there, but, that's YouTube for you. But they do come with the National Heavyweight Championship with Tully, and the NWA World Television Championship with Arn, respectively. And it is the same mold, of course, which, why wouldn't it be? Because it was basically the same belt. And I like them. I like them a lot. They have just enough detail that you know what they are, but they're not overly detailed. It's just like an LJN style belt would be. And really, I mean, one thing you got to give them is we're getting a lot of really cool belts in the LJN style with this line. I mean, you can see behind me, the last set had the NWA Tag Team titles, the Rock and Roll Express. We've had the NWA belt, Big Gold, and Domed Globe. I mean, so it's pretty cool. Love having these. This is the first figure-sized of any sort national championship that I can remember off the top of my head. And of course, the TV we saw with Mattel, but a little less. Well, no, you know what? This one does not. I didn't take a good list. This doesn't have the NWA lettering either. So, I guess certain ones had I think the Harley had like the NWA licensing. So, I guess they didn't do it with this, and that's fine. Like I said, they're just really cool to have. I will say, some people, not myself, have reported problems with the belts. Which, I mean, it was a problem with LJN too. Of course, that was long ago, but with the holder snapping there, if you take them on and off, I mean, it is snug. It is kind of hard to get in and off. That's why I didn't put them on here. But, they're good belts. They're fun. You can, just kind of bend them and drape them over their shoulder if you want. And the figures themselves, I mean, they're nice. They're solid. And like I talk about with any retro figure, you have to think of it. When you're looking at them, when you're judging them, you have to think of it with a retro mindset. Some people will say, that don't collect figures or they're casual. They'll say, why do they look like that? It's 2025. I mean, we have virtual little statues of actors and athletes and wrestlers and all that in stores. Why would we pay $50 for a figure that doesn't look perfect? Well, it's because it's retro style. These, for example, are supposed to look like LJNs. So LJNs were hit or miss, like all toy lines were back then. There have been some complaints about these in that they don't look like the computer renderings that were unveiled. I agree. I think they're passable as LJN looks for both guys. Probably Arn more than Tully. I think Arn honestly came out looking a bit more like Ole. I mean, not in the physique, but in the face. Both are a bit more muscular, but that shouldn't be an issue either. I mean, again, look at the LJNs, look at the Hasbros. That's how things work. We're making larger-than-life superstars even more larger-than-life. That's what the toy companies were doing. So we're going to emulate that with these, right? I mean, overall, I like them. I never go by renders personally. The digital renders, Mattel gets them wrong. They all get them wrong. So I'm not going to, poo-poo them over that. I like the Arn pose. The Tully pose doesn't really scream Tully to me. I would have rather had him doing the little cocky strut that he did. That's me. The Arn, I think, is perfect. This is one of the, as far as the pose, I think it's one of the better. I think Arn is very hard to capture in a figure, and I don't know why. I think the best one still is the original, the Galoob, the WCW Galoob. I love that figure. I played it to death when I was a kid. Not now. I mean, maybe. But, I think this is just a good solid look for Arn. I think it's a good pose. It reminds me of one of his, early to mid-90s WCW promo photo poses, so we're good there. Like I said, it's a bit muscular, but that's the retro style. The face is good at certain angles. Again, the face is really my biggest complaint with these two is I just don't care for the Tully pose. But hey, they're here. They go with the Rock and Rolls, who were great. I love them. I mean, you can go find my review of those. I think it was the Labor Day review show I did. But Arn and Tully, good ones. Like them a lot. Now we're going to unbox Rick the Model Martel. And I am saying Rick the Model Martel because the first few, I think it was about a year and a half that he was the model, it was Rick the Model Martel. Then it just became the model Rick Martel. And I don't know that anyone's ever talked about that, thought about it, cared about it, gave a what about it, but it's what it is. So since this is reflecting his early run, this is Rick the Model Martel. And there he is. Of course, Martel had an original LJN in the Strike Force white tights. It's not a common figure, but it's not really rare. It's like from the Bam Bam Outback Jack, near the end, but not quite the end era. So you can get it. It's out there, but they probably would have done the model eventually had the line continued. Of course, this comes with the sweater around his neck, which is removable. It's a bit snug. We'll look at it. And the atomizer, which does not move like the Mattel one did. But what I found interesting is that the way it's packaged in there does not reflect that it does say arrogance on the side. But for some reason, they decided to put it only on the one side that's not visible on the package. So that's a little weird. But we're going to unbox it. I mean, I already have, but you're going to see it again. Like I said, collector-friendly packaging means that you can put it back in and no one's the wiser. And that's how it should be for certain things. I've told my mixed feelings there before, so I'm not going to really say it should be like that. And the standard bubble. And I did want to mention with the Arn and Tully, I'm not going to pull the bubbles out, but I'll just demonstrate. A lot of the belts in the earlier ones were falling. They were falling in the package. And of course, collector-friendly, you can open them up and fix it, but they would fall if you had them on display or whatever. I started putting a little piece of tape. That was fine, but it's tape. Arn and Tully, the bubble is actually, for the portion where the belt should go, actually has little, almost like little crevices. It's like a crevice so that you can actually kind of plug it in. So it actually fits in there. So kudos for that, guys. But we're going to take the model out here and his atomizer. And I'm guessing, Jess, that the model doesn't have much trouble getting a date for Saturday night. You and I, we have our problems. Speak for yourself, Gorilla. Yeah, a little WrestleMania 6 there. We are getting Coco in the Big Rubber Guys line, so this would be very close to his look at WrestleMania 6. Remember, with arrogance, even Rona Barrett is crawling at Jesse Ventura's feet. But there he is, the model. He looks really great, doesn't he? Yeah. We'll take the atomizer out. There it is. Arrogance. Get a squirt in the royal box. You know what I'm talking about. And actually, I guess me removing it yesterday when I was looking these over kind of maybe loosened it because it just came off really easily. But it does fit nice and snug, and we'll leave it off because we're going to do a close-up here. Because if you notice, the glasses are painted oddly. Yeah. Can you see that? Yeah, I think they were going for an effect of like, he usually had kind of a design going around the frames, but it came out looking like they just like splotched paint on the lenses. And it looks really bad. And I'm not the only one to notice this. And, you know, I'm the anti-influencer. I don't go around saying things are great if they're not. This is not good. It's a really good figure. I mean, that is his definite look at that time. He had the somewhat steroid look at the time. I'm not going to accuse anyone. And the knee pads look good, and I think the color is real good. But those glasses just look awful. It looks like this is an LJN that I bought at the flea market. 10 years after a kid opened it and played with it and banged it around. I mean, these aren't cheap figures. And I don't know how that got past quality control. But, it's a nice figure. It's very solid. Finally, we're going to go back to Missy Hyatt. And this is another one that people have been talking about. Personally, I love it. I think it's great. And again, I don't suck up. I don't lie. I'm not saying this for Missy's sake. I like this figure a lot. It's obviously done, as anyone who's ever collected figures knows, wrestling figures knows, as a homage to Elizabeth. I mean, you can see the exact look, right down to, yes, a soft goods skirt. The microphone is removable, and there is a video floating around of Missy opening a case of the figures, and she does talk about what you can do with that hand if you remove the microphone. And I'm going to let you find that video and find out for yourself exactly what she says. We're a family show here on the vlog. But I like it a lot. And the figure went through a couple of phases of fan pleasure. Should I have said pleasure? Well, the render, which I spoke of renders with the Brainbusters, was pretty much universally loved. Then a test shot prototype was shown at some show, and everybody saw pictures of it, and kind of lost something in the translation. And now I guess we're kind of divided, because I've seen some people say, still don't care for it. I like it. I really do. I mean, it captures her. It's her hair. It's the outfit from at least one segment of the unused, unaired Missy's Manor that was supposed to be on WWF TV in '87 to replace Piper's Pit after WrestleMania 3. And I just like it a lot. I mean, it fits perfectly. If you're going to have a woman in there with your Elizabeth figure and your LJN display, she fits right in. Hey, she made WWF magazine. She's in there. They talk about Missy's Manor in there. They show great photo shoot of her. So she was there, and now you have a figure of it. And Missy finally has her Missy doll. I just hope it's not the last one. I know at least one retro company said they were going to make her in a Hasbro style, and I'd like to see that. And if any of these Gloob style retro companies get around to making her, I'd grab her too, because grab Missy. Because she should be in the Gloob line. She should have been back then. I think she would have been a great seller, but there's a lot of people that should have been in the Gloob line. But Missy, I think, is the star of the show here. And, the law of diminishing returns exists everywhere, and I don't have to explain to you what that means, because I think we learned about the law of diminishing returns like in second grade. I'm not going to say the bloom is off the rose with the big rubber guys. I still like them, but it does seem to be that maybe people aren't as collecting them all. It's going to happen. It happens with everything. Again, law of diminishing returns. I think the upcoming Demolition release will get some steam, and they're trying to be diplomatic, it seems, on the one message board that I read comments from someone from the company on. I don't know who it is. About the Mattel JNs coming out. They're trying to say, oh, we can exist, you know, it's not going to hurt us. I don't see how that's possible. I don't own the company. I have nothing to do with it. I'm the anti-influencer. What do I know? But Mattel JNs are going to have eyes on them from people who've never heard of Big Rubber Guys and people who honestly never heard of LJNs. And they're going to say, oh, look at these rubber wrestlers. They're kind of cool. I'm going to pick some up. Plus, they're cheaper. And that's the nature of the beast when you're a boutique and when you're Mattel. So we'll see. I think there's room for both. They're coming out with Hercules. He looks great. They're coming out with, allegedly, I have not seen it anywhere, but apparently there's a Dusty with the Road Warrior paint coming out, which would be cool. We have a lot of Dusties already, but he's, we're getting another Dusty, but, he is, hey, all-time fave. So, I think there's room for the BRGs and for the Mattel JNs, and we're certainly going to see. Certainly different characters. Now, I myself, I probably will pre-order Hercules. I'm undecided on the upcoming Andre in the Suit, which was definitely a figure that I wanted for years, and Mattel took care of that. Do I really need an LJN style? I don't know. Might that be one that I chance and wait for a sale? Because I'm seeing more and more figures on the Big Rubber Guys hitting sales on their site, so maybe I wait for that. Can I chance it? Could happen. I personally skipped the Nasty Boys and Paul Ellering because I'm still trying to stay relatively to limiting to 1990. And yes, I know the Nasty Boys, I think, formed in 88, 87 or 88. But to me, they're just kind of out of the range of what I want in my LJN collection. If I saw them dirt cheap, would they come home with me? Probably. And the Paul Ellering, love Ellering, but I really think that Ellering is more geared towards the red Legion of Doom Road Warrior set that they did for, I believe, Big Bad Toy Store. Is an exclusive, and I think they're still available, but I didn't see the need to buy them because I already had the AWA, NWA Road Warriors set, so I just didn't feel the, or at least at the time I had it on pre-order, so I didn't feel the need to have both. I just didn't. I don't feel the need to have all of the Big Rubber Guys. Just as I will not feel the need to have all the Mattel JNs, to be fair. So, we'll see. As I told you, how long ago was it? Almost 3 months ago, I think now, right here on the vlog. The Big Rubber Wars have begun. The Big Rubber Wrestling Figure Wars have begun, and it's going to be a ride. You thought the Monday Night Wars was fun? I don't find it fun anymore. I'm totally bored with that era and don't watch it, but yeah, I don't think the Big Rubber Wars is going to be as exciting as the Monday Night Wars really were, but, we can say that, because that's what we're about, memorabilia. And I'm glad you've come to join me, the anti-influencer, for another review of some wrestling memorabilia, some new figures. And please like and subscribe if you haven't, because I enjoy every single one of those likes that I get, every single one of those subscriptions that I get, and every single one of those comments that I get. So please like, subscribe, comment. Keep us up on those YouTube feeds, and we'll be back with another video before you know it.